Welcome back to Stephen A. Smith Show. I'll get into the NFL playoffs in a moment, but first I want to address an important story that will affect at least 170 million Americans who use TikTok. Earlier today, the Supreme Court unanimously upheld a law that would effectively ban the social media platform in the United States this coming Sunday. The court rejected an appeal from the app's owners that claimed the ban violated the First Amendment. In its opinion, the Supreme Court acknowledged that for 170 million Americans, TikTok offers, quote, a distinctive and expansive outlet for expression, means of engagement, and source of community, end quote. But the court said Congress was focused on national security concerns, and that was a deciding factor in how it weighed the case. They said, quote, Congress has determined that divestiture is necessary to address its well-supported national security concerns regarding TikTok's data collection practices in relationship with a foreign adversary, end quote. The foreign adversary would be China. So what happens next? The focus now shifts to President-elect Donald Trump, who can intervene after he takes office on Monday. Speaking to CNN after the ruling, Trump said, quote, it ultimately goes up to me. So you're going to see what I'm going to do, end quote. Trump also acknowledged that he spoke to Chinese President Xi Jinping earlier today. Again, roughly 170 million Americans and more than 1 billion people worldwide use TikTok, according to the company. I'm torn. But let me be very clear. I'm only torn because of the moment that we're living in. We're about to have on a guest who, along with his wife, is making some money they desperately need because they lost their home in the fires in Palisades. Their parents lost their home as well. And the guy's name is Spencer Pratt, and he's about to come on here in a few minutes to talk to us about what he lost, how he lost, what he was able to retain or to save and conserve, and what he ultimately had to forfeit because the fires wouldn't allow otherwise. He encouraged people to go and listen to her music and what have you. Apparently people have been doing that, and they've been using that as, music on TikTok and stuff like that, and it's gone viral. And as a result, they're generating some revenue off of that, and there's no crime in that. When you see something like that, you make money any way you can, legally, any way you can. In such desperate times. They're not robbing anybody. They're not killing anybody. They're not doing anything. So as far as I'm concerned, hell, YouTube, why we got a show on YouTube? Why does everybody got a podcast and it's running on video and YouTube and other platforms? Because you're going to generate revenue for it. So I get that part. But national security is national security. And if Congress has a concern about that, maybe the appropriate decision would be to delay it for about a few months or so. As one Democratic representative is suggesting, maybe that's something that you do. I don't know. I'm just reading from an article here on The Verge, I believe. It says the Supreme Court couldn't have been more direct. The Protecting Americans from Foreign Adversary Control Applications Act, as applied to TikTok, withstands First Amendment scrutiny and can take effect on January 19th. The court agreed that the government had a compelling national security interest in passing the law and that its rationale was content neutral. The solution proposed, forcing Chinese parent company ByteDance, B-Y-T-E, ByteDance, to divest TikTok or see it ousted from the U.S., was ruled appropriately tailored to meet those needs. So essentially, here's the deal. Somebody out there needs to be able to purchase this from ByteDance so it's no longer under Chinese authority, because evidently we've got an issue with the Chinese government using TikTok to influence so many American citizens, especially the youth amongst us. Now, I do know that TikTok is banned in places like Iran, Afghanistan, Somalia, places like that. Why is it banned there but not here? Who else is thinking about banning TikTok? What's their rationale behind it? Evidently, the Chinese government has figured out a way to utilize TikTok not only to spy on American citizens, but also to influence the youth amongst us. And it's so alarming that the United States government has considered it a national security concern. I say those security concerns usurp our preferences. I got my daughters crying about TikTok, talking about, it's not fair. I don't like it. It's not right, Daddy. I'm like, wait a minute. I happen to believe you on TikTok too damn much myself. And what the hell are you looking at on there? And why do you believe that that's the best source of news that you can find? Because we can't stop everything. You can take their phones away. They got an iPad or a laptop. They use it then. They use other people's phone. They exchange messages. They're reading the news. They're acting like it's the modern day ABC News or something. That's how these kids feel about TikTok. So I don't blame the government for feeling this way. But national security is national security. I don't blame the government for being concerned. But to sort of meet your middle ground, maybe Trump comes in and you delay this decision from being made for a few months until folks get their bearings under them. Maybe that's what you do.